Hello, listeners. I am definitely not Joseph Fink. I am not a friend of Joseph Fink. I have never spoken to Joseph Fink. I have never been in the same state as Joseph Fink. Unless I have, in which case I was unaware of the fact. And neat. What I am, however, is a fan of the podcast Welcome to Night Vale. The following is a fan reading / very slight alteration of a Night Vale episode. In an attempt to make sure it is obvious that I or my colleagues are not professionally involved in Night Vale in any way, we have not even tried to attempt the proper voices of the characters within this podcast. There is no profit involved in this project, but if anyone involved with Night Vale would like to see the audio thrown to the wolves, I will do so without hesitation. Until I get that cease and desist, please enjoy. Seriously though, I am not in any way, shape, or form Joseph Fink, so quit thinking otherwise!
At last, we are alone. At last, we are, all of us, alone together. At last, every human, alone together on this earth. Welcome to Night Vale. Thrilling news, listeners. It has come to our attention that there will be condos for sale, right here in Night Vale. Details on them are a little hazy. For instance, we don't know what these condos will look like, where they will be located, who's building them, or what they'll even cost. But in the official brochure for the development, it does say, Condos for Sale, in a thick all-caps black scrawl. One local realtor, speaking under the condition of anonymity, and from within the belly of a grazing deer, said that the condos are a great investment. Invest your money in condos, said the realtor. Invest your time in condos. Invest your life, invest emotion and hope. Invest your ideas about the future. Invest your disappointment with your ongoing now. Invest drops of blood. You lose blood all the time on frivolous accidents. Now is the chance to imbue it with purpose and verve. Spill your blood for the condos. The realtor was then cut off when the deer was spooked by a passing car and ran away. Listeners, I don't know much about condos. I don't know much about anything at all, honestly. But I do know this. Condos are coming to Night Vale. They will be for sale, and this is great and exciting news for us all. Well, it seems that just about half the town of Night Vale is lined up outside of the condo rental office, which is located in the abandoned gas station on Oxford Street. Everyone is there. Janice Rio from down the street, who is practically hopping up and down with excitement over owning a new condo. Whatever a condo is, whatever it looks like. Leanne Hart, publishing editor of the Night Vale Daily Journal, who was holding a bloodied hatchet in case she came across any bloggers or online journalists who might threaten her grip on the printed word. Alex the doctor. Alex the doctor. He was there, wearing business casual scrubs and analyzing those around him with complicated devices he couldn't explain without eventually just shaking his head and muttering, medicine. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the show, by the way, but Alex is totally my boyfriend. I just didn't know if I had brought that up before. He's very handsome and into medicine. And he is learning to be better about calling when he needs to cancel dates to get some medicine done. Where was I? Right. Even the dreaded Glow Cloud was there, hurling dead animals down upon those in line and intoning to all that would listen, "The sun will not set again on your lives. All that you once were now belongs to me. Bury your face into the breast of the earth and worship that which you cannot understand." You know, it makes total sense that the Glow Cloud would want one of these condos. I mean, after joining the school board and sending your kid to the local school, you need to have a nice place at which to raise whatever strange and terrible creature it is that constitutes your family. No one could see into the abandoned gas station, so no one knew what the condo rental office looked like. There was only a bubbling dark movement, like a pot of boiling squid ink, and the occasional pinpoint of light, like distant dying stars. People began to shove each other, trying to catch a glimpse of what the condos might be, and there was shouting. Roger Singh started to point at every object in his sight. Blades of grass, the rust shell of a former gas pump, Janice Rio from down the street, asking,
Is that a condo? Is that a condo? In a high, cracked voice. And. Alright, I know this is out of nowhere, but at what point in a relationship is it normal to think about living together? Is, let's say, I don't know, buying a condo a sign that you want to move to that stage? Is that what an action like that might hypothetically be indicating? Oh, yeah. Also, Roger was holding a freshly severed spine of an unknown animal or possible person, waving it at the bubbling dark window and howling. Give me a condo! What is a condo? Give me one! Will this buy me a condo? As of press time, no one has told him whether a spine would or would not buy him a condo. But, do you know what I mean? Like, could this be a sign that he wants to move things in that direction? You know, I just wish he would communicate more directly sometimes, but I get it, medical professionals don't communicate directly. Everybody knows that. They communicate using a series of obscure and arcane codes and signals, and that is what it means to be a medical professional. Oh, Roger has started flailing at people with a detached spine. Several people have been trampled. It is still not known whether he will be able to buy a condo with that spine. But, probably not. Oh, I'm sorry, listeners, I'm gonna have to get this. Hello?
Nathan?
Alex?
Yes, according to my medical background, that is who I am.
Yeah, I've been meaning to tell you. You sound different lately.
Yeah, I put in new vocal cords recently.
What? No, I didn't know you went in for surgery.
No, I'm a doctor. I put them in myself. Easy. It's important that a doctor test his or her practice and update his or her vocal cords once in a while. Otherwise, throat spiders.
I knew that. I mean, obviously I knew that. I'm incredibly into the medical field, But, hey, listen, I'm in the middle of a show.
Yeah, I know. You're covering the story about the condos. That's why I called.
I didn't know that you listen to my show. Since when?
Every time you're on.
Okay, hold on, listeners. I'll be right with you. So, those condos, right? They're very exciting, right?
Everything's exciting, particularly existence. Existence is the most thrilling fact of all.
Right. So, hey, are you doing okay? I'm getting reports that it's even more fatal outside than usual.
By 19 standard fatality units. I know. I have a danger meter in front of me right now. Listen, I called to talk to you about something important, but I don't think I have the time.
What? But time?
Isn't real? I know. Neither is anything else. That is the most scientific fact of all. But they're calling my name, and I don't want to lose my place in line. This is important. Because, I have to go. So I'm sorry. I'll have to call you back later. Probably. Everything is on some level of probably. Nothing is a promise. It is most likely we'll survive to talk again.
No,
Hey,
I
listen.
understand.
I love you.
Oh,
They're calling my
sorry.
name. I have
No,
to.
you go ahead.
I'll
You go
have
ahead.
to
You
call
do what you have
back
to
when
do.
I can.
All right?
Goodbye.
Oh. Okay, goodbye.
I'm sorry, listeners. Yeah, where was I? Let's talk about your health for a moment. Let's concentrate on your health. Let's think about your health. Do you feel healthy? Pay close attention to your body and see if you feel as healthy as you thought. Ooh, was that a slight twinge in the muscle of your arm? That is a bad sign. That's a symptom of all sorts of diseases. Was that a slight sniffle as you breathed in? Sure, it could just be allergies or a mild cold. But it could also be the start of tuberculosis. Does tuberculosis even start with a sniffle? You don't know. And so it might very well. Listen to your heart beating. Hear your heart beat. Feel it. Feel the one thing keeping you alive. Feel your heartbeat. Are you healthy? Are you healthy? This has been a public health announcement by the Greater Night Vale medical community. Their lines are open for appointments now, and please have a credit card ready. Ladies and gentlemen, the condos are here. They arrived silently in the night. They are thoroughly modern in their design. They are so modern, in fact, it is postulated they might actually be from a few centuries in the future, which is the most modern a thing can be. The condos are featureless black cubes. They are standing, perfect dark forms where the ramshackle homes and dust-worn strip malls of Night Vale once stood. And there are so many of them. They are a majestic cityscape. They are a nightmare. And they are beautiful. Alex has hauled out his medical equipment, of course, and is trying to use it to test the cubes. The cubes emit a low level of radiation and some sort of strange pulsing energy. The energy would be difficult to describe in scientific terms, but if he had to give it a language, he would probably use terms like pulsing and strange. The cubes do not appear to have any entrance or windows, so they are similar to many of the old tract homes that were built around here in the 1950s. But they also do not appear to have any roof or foundation, or yard, or terrace, or patio, or any other vestige of a home. They have only their sleek lines, their contours, their corners, the sheerness of their featureless walls. We do not yet know if these condos mean us harm or well. We only know of their presence, and so let us know that. Let us all hold on to that knowledge. The condos, black cubes of enormous size, are here. And we know it. And now...
Nathan.
Listeners, there is a voice, but I can see no one in my studio. It is a familiar voice, and also my Risei statue appears to be 3 inches to the left of where it was.
It's me, the wife who fueled Frump who secretly lives in your vents. Also, I put your Risei statue where it's supposed to be, for reasons of fate.
Ah, I see. Well, while I have you here...
It is terrible what the condos will do to you. Not to you, as in you, but to you, as in all of us. But not to me. Nothing ever really happens to me. I'm completely safe from harm, and this is a great burden. Oh, while you were out this morning, I made your dining room table half a foot shorter. I thought it looked better that way. Hope you like it. Took me an hour with a hacksaw on a level.
Well, I'm sure that lower meals means, faster digestion. Not sure, but I'm saying it. And in saying it, I am instantly believing it. And then I'm going from believing it to being violently certain about it, against all evidence to the contrary.
Thanks. It means a lot. Not to me, but your words hold a lot of meaning intrinsically. Almost everything you say does. If you looked at any word in the English language close enough, you would see, within the great glowing coils of the universe, unwinding.
Right!
Our language holds the key to it, the key to the unraveling of all things. I think that one day, this world will simply talk itself to death, and I will be left to flit about in the void. I will be the wife who fueled Frump, who secretly lives nowhere.
Now, you mentioned the condos. Let me ask you, what do you think it means when Alex says he's looking at condos? I mean, did he mean that he wanted us both to look at them together? Or was he communicating independence, like, you stay here, I'm going off to look at condos alone?
Beware the condos, Nathan.
I mean, do you think he's looking to just buy one for himself? Is that what you're saying?
Beware the unraveling of all things.
Or is he looking for a shared condo? Hello? Hello? Well, I can no longer see a fleeting image of someone just over my shoulder, no flicker of movement from the corner of my eye, so I guess he's gone. Also, there are 3 slow-walking gray roaches climbing out of my coffee cup. And also, I am out of coffee. And now, traffic. Picture a car. No, you're doing it wrong. Try again. Picture a car. Really? That's what you picture when you picture a car? Alright, look, we'll go with that. Not happy about it, but we'll go with your idea of a car for now. So, picture that car. And now, picture a road. Are you picturing it? Close your eyes if you have to. If you need to, gently remove your eyes and slip them into your bag. Do you see the car driving on the road? Good. Now, picture a destination. Any destination you want. No, that was incorrect. The correct destination was a clear and placid lake. So, all of you out there, picture the car. Picture the road. Picture the clear and placid lake. And what I want you to do now is put the car in the lake. It's very simple. Just imagine the car leaving the road and now entering the lake. Leaving the road, entering the lake. Great. Are we all picturing the car in the lake? Okay. City Council is notifying me that the test went perfectly and that we all successfully murdered a lone driver using the collective willpower of our minds. Wow. Wow! The human mind is a powerful thing. This has been Traffic. Reports are in that the first condo buyers nervously approached their acquisitions, those black cubes, giant where once stood other places. The buyers edged towards them. They reached out their hands, trembling. They touched the smooth, cold walls of the cubes, and they saw. They saw. Janice Rio from down the street saw a city. A lost city. A dead city, nestled in a jungle. The kind of jungle that only ever existed in books written by people who have never seen a jungle. The city stood, and Janice stood, in perfect dread. Its doors were open jaws. Its windows were open jaws. Its roads and avenues were gaping mouths and open jaws. That dead city teetered. It rotted in its jungle tomb, but it was not empty. And she started to run through the thick foliage of that absurd place. She shouted and ran. And then her hand slipped away from the condo, and it was all gone. And she fell to her knees weeping as though she had lost something, although of course she'd never had anything at all. Roger Singh, who had been able to buy a condo with the spine, saw a cave underwater and an ocean far to the north. And the water around him was dark, ooh, so dark, that he wasn't sure even which way led to the surface, to life, and which way led down only to the deep silent. He gasped, but found he had no breath, and no need to breathe. And there was this cave that smoldered with a light that was charged and alive. And shadows moved against the light, cast by what? Within the cave. And then he swam towards it, uncertain whether he was guest or sacrifice or invulnerable dreamer. And he heard a song from the cave, and he knew it, and it was perfect. And he sang along, but at the same time, he had never heard that song before in his life. And what was life? What made it his? It all seemed so small, part of the world that didn't exist anymore. And then he went backwards from the face of the condo, and the ocean and the cave vanished, and he stared up at the blue sky as awash with light as the water around him had been dark. "Was that a condo?" he asked. "Was that what one is?" Another, Samantha Guzman, only screamed. Her eyes bulging wider and wider, her hand clamped to the surface of the cube. So, it seems the move-in day is going pretty well so far. Today's show is brought to you by the generous support of the following sponsors. The Sun. All other suns with their own planets and own possibilities. A trail, winding its way into a thick wood. The Gesture. This bit of melody. A&W Root Beer. The slow disintegration of your body. Light in every form. Visible, invisible, deadly, hidden. Please help our show by supporting these sponsors using chants and simple offerings. And now, more on the condo story.
Excuse me, Nathan.
Yeah, excuse me?
Sorry to interrupt, but...
Say speaking and turn your musically shaped ears to heed my booming and impressive voice!
Yeah, thank you, Greenhead. Hey listeners. Hiram McDaniels here, mayoral candidate, noted 5-headed dragon, and completely innocent of any trumped-up insurance fraud charges.
Ah, hello, Hiram. It's great to have you live in the studio. And, also you, and you, and you, and you.
Great, yeah. We couldn't help but notice that you had the, waifu-fueled frump on just a bit ago, and, that hardly seems fair.
Candidates must be given equal time on community radio. Says that in Section 12, Clause 3 of the Fairness Code. We are all born with imprinted on our hearts.
My apologies, you are perfectly right. That was my failing as a community radio host, but it's just... Hey, listen, I'm a little distracted. Can I ask you some sort of, relationship question?
No, you belly sentient suck of flesh and fluid!
Sorry there, Nathan, buddy, but we just don't have the time for that right now. Anyway, if it's okay with you, I'd like to exercise my right as mayoral candidate by talking about the important subject of my favorite memory. Now, my favorite memory was when I was just 30 years old, hardly half as big as I am now.
We were 43% of our current stature, give or take a decimal.
Give it or take it, Bluehead. Give it or take it. It's your natural right.
Thank you, Purplehead. So there I was, standing on a city street, and not this city. I hadn't heard of Night Vale yet. I asked a man walking by on the street where a good place to eat was. You know what he said?
I know very little.
He howled in fear and scrambled to the fragile shelter of the nearest building. I roared, filled with shame at the effect my form had on these judging insects.
It was a real bummer.
We cried and we cried and we were still hungry. And we cried.
Well, that's a nice favorite memory.
Oh, no. That wasn't my favorite memory. That was just, what do you call it?
Context!
Yeah, context. Now, my favorite memory was when I was standing in a city. This city. I was standing in Night Vale. I had heard of it by then.
Whispers, rumors, flying through the night on hot updrafts with vague directions in my mind and nothing but miles of mad darkness all around me.
Oh, right. This place was real hard to find. So I was standing on the street, and I asked a man walking by where a good place to eat was. You know what he said?
Nope. Again, knowledge very limited here.
He said, well...
He didn't say anything.
Right, Greyhead. He didn't say anything. He just opened his mouth wider than a human is physically capable of doing, let out a loud hoot, pointed at the moonlight all-night diner. He just went about his day, no screaming, no fear.
It was very disappointing!
No, Green. It was magical. Finally a place where what I looked like didn't matter. It didn't matter that I have trouble controlling my fire breathing or that the diner looked a bit far, and so I just ate the man instead. None of that mattered because I had found my home.
We had found our home.
Yeah, exactly, yes. That is why I wanted to be mayor. Mayor of the first city that ever made me feel normal, Night Vale. As my campaign slogan says, I'm literally a 5-headed dragon. Who cares? I tell you, many people care, and all over the world, but no one here. That's all that matters to me.
And me.
And me.
And me.
And me!
Thank you, listeners. Thank you, Nathan.
No. Thank you, Hiram. That was a very nice story. Even if I did my best to learn nothing from it.
Goodbye, bite-sized creature!
Goodbye. Wow. Man, what a striking and charismatic dragon. Where was I? Ah, yes. More now on the Condo story. Those people who have been given terrible visions by the Condos are saying that they feel they must go back to their condo. That something felt unfinished about what they saw. That even as they feel terrified, they must go back to see what will happen next. The sheriff's secret police are attempting to stop the condo owners by sending passive-aggressive messages via helicopter-borne loudspeaker. Sure, they're saying. Go ahead. Touch the cube again, I guess. I mean, if you don't care about your community and your fellow citizens, then I guess you probably should. We won't miss you anyway. Like, no big deal. Touch the cube if you want. And they are. Roger, Samantha, Janice Rio from down the street. They are touching the great black walls of the condo cubes, and the walls are rippling and bubbling as though liquid, like a pot of boiling squid ink with darting lights like distant dying stars. The hands of the people are pushing through into the space within, whatever that space is, and they are, one by one, and with varying degrees of hesitancy, entering their condos. Bystanders say that once inside, the human forms are going limp and floating up into the center of the cubes where they stay, paralyzed, faces slack, and eyes glazed. A small sign has appeared outside of each cube that contains a person. The sign is red and says in simple white lettering, Condos. A perfect kind of human, a perfect kind of life. Get yours today. Listeners, I cannot advise getting yours today. Not until we understand fully what these condos are. And given our track record, we will likely never fully understand what they are. So it's best to just stay away. More on this as it develops. But first, a look at the community calendar. This Friday, the staff of Dark Owl Records will be holding a clearance sale. Everything must go, they will declare on a bright banner with a thick font. Music is old, it's ancient. It cannot tell the stories of our lives, our souls, our societies any longer, the banner will read. It cannot mean anything. It cannot give you what you need. Buy this music and eat this music, the banner will say in bright yellows and blues. Tear it into plastic shards and swallow it. It knows not what it has wrought on our world, the banner will exclaim to excited music lovers. Let it shred you from within as we laugh from without, the banner will announce. 40% off all CDs, 70% off all posters, Friday only. Saturday afternoon is the opening of the new Kids Unlearning Wing at the Museum of Forbidden Technologies. Well, this wing has been built, but no one is certain where. The museum staff says that the kids interested in unlearning about all forbidden technologies, as well as those kids who are uninterested, well, in fact, all children, the museum says, will eventually be chosen during sleep. They will wake up late one night in this new wing, experiencing all the magic and wonder of unlearning. Sunday morning, the Night Vale PTA will be holding a raffle. Tickets are only $2 each, and the winner, as usual, will never be heard from again. Monday has been rescheduled to Wednesday, and Wednesday has been doubled. Tuesday... Oh, man. Oh, you don't even want to know. Or, well, you do want to know, but the powers that be don't even want you to know, so you can all just be properly surprised. This has been the Community Calendar. Hello?
Hello, Nathan? Are you there?
Alex? Hi. I'm on the air. I'm still doing the show.
Right, no, I know. It's just that I got us a condo. A condo for us. And I was thinking maybe we could...
Wait. For us? That we could?
But it wasn't what I thought it would be. It's a giant black cube. Featureless. Where the vacant lot behind the bookbins used to be. I touched it, and I saw an endless row of Erlenmeyer flasks, and every one of them held a liquid. And all the liquids were bubbling. And before each one was a note of numbers, and above was a dial with more numbers. I saw all of this, and I understood.
You touched the condo? Don't touch the condo. Don't touch it again. You know what? Hold on. I'll be right there.
I need to get those flasks, Nathan. Each liquid was bubbling. There were numbers. I'm going into the condo. The condo is perfect. It is perfect, and I understand.
Alex, no! Don't go in there! Alex? Hello? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I'll be back really soon. I will be back as soon as I can, but before I go, let me take you now to the weather.
I will keep on running onward, even though I'm out of breath. Today I challenge my limits for a glimpse of tomorrow. This whole world is in fast forward, and I'm always left behind. I reach the summit, but they're flying higher. hearts, I'm a dreamer. Yeah, I'm a believer. It's not easy to keep going, motivation's running thin. No, my dreams unrealistic. No, I don't need reminding. These moments under pressure, when you feel it closing in, you're the one, be the one to believe in. I keep searching for an answer, but I can't keep it together. Does anybody know what path I should take? I won't hesitate, because this dream that I'll create, it cannot be misguided by simple regret and thoughts of what if. So I'll take my next step, but if you were to cheer me on, I'd soar beyond that boundary. Oh, thank you, this was worth all the heartache. So what if I've still got a ways to go? So what? It won't be easy, I know. So what? I'll leave the doubt behind me, cause I'm a dreamer. Yeah, I'm a believer. What's this frenzy of emotion? It feels so right in this moment, until I understand all that's left unknown. I will continue racing on ahead. I will seize the day, no matter what it throws my way. It cannot keep me grounded, evolving every step. Reborn a new me. You'll never hear me say, I think I'm at my limit. No, I'll soar beyond that boundary. No, thank you, come on, let's aim up higher. So what if I don't know what lies in store? So what? That's never stopped me before. So what? I don't care about our odds, I'm a dreamer. Yeah, I'm a believer. Yeah, I'm a believer.
Hello again, listeners. Nathan's still gone. I guess it's just you and me now. You have no idea how often it is just you and me. I've learned this new thing where I can switch vents even when they aren't directly connected. It's an interesting process. I'd show you, but you can't see me. And anyway, I think it would upset you to see a frump high on waifu love multi-vent drifting throughout your home. There always seems to be something upsetting you. You should relax more. It's not that there's nothing coming to get you. There's everything coming to get you. But relax anyway, just on principle. Lie down and look up into the vent. A vent in which you can see nothing skittering. Even though there is something skittering. There are so many skittering creatures in your vents. But forget that. Lie down and look up into the vent. And breathe with all those curious, fragile lungs of yours and remind yourself, don't worry. Don't worry. All is as it was meant to be. It was meant to be lonely and terrifying and unfair and fleeting. Don't worry. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a young man who was only interested in three-dimensional women and did not live in the ventilation system of his home. He had a normal bedroom, and he always thought his life had some great purpose. This is not my life as it should be, he said, indicating his life as it was. My life is different from this. This is not it at all. And so, he sought out changes in his life. He got a tech job and strengthened his friendships. He changed video game consoles and reorganized his battle station, and still, his life was not what he was sure it should be. He changed more. He began to play nothing but Mega Man Legends and stare at the heroine. He watched how she was focused, yet worried, aggressive, yet loving. Maybe she could live a life that should include no one but him. Maybe they both needed a cooler, cozier location in which to allow their romance to foster. Cozy, like a vent. Sure, there was less and less of him. He was not living his own life, and so he was not living any life. It was harder and harder for people to see him, because there was less and less of him to see. And then he died. Oh, that wasn't me. I see the confusion here. No, that was a young man I watched as I secretly lived in his vents. I just found his story interesting. as I find many stories interesting. Nathan should be back soon. I know you were hoping he's safe, and that the doctor is safe. I know. I'm watching them right now, even as I speak to you. But I won't tell you what's happening. That's because I'm also slightly malicious. Sorry about that. I should go now. I don't mean go. I'm always with you. But I'm going to stop talking now. Let you forget about me. Let you find some reason to dismiss that scratching noise you hear coming from the vents as you try to sleep. After all, it's probably nothing. It's probably nothing after all.
Look, I'm sorry, listeners. I'm back. I'm really sorry for... By the time I got there, Alex was floating in the cube, and there was that sign. A perfect kind of human, a perfect kind of life. Well, I didn't hesitate. I jumped into that black cube after him, and instantly I saw great distances. I saw... jagged mountains. I saw a dark planet lit by no sun. I saw shrouded figures standing on a beach in a circle, gently swaying into each other against the backdrop of a roiling, bottomless ocean. I saw all of this, and I understood. I understood that the cubes are perfect. I understood that this is how we become perfect. I understood that what I was seeing was the way to perfection. And I don't know how I understood this. Thinking about it now, nothing about it seems good, let alone perfect. But inside the cube, within its chambers, it all makes sense. And I understood. And there was a moment, dear listeners, where I considered it. I considered joining Alex and becoming perfect. But I've come to know something after these months together with dear Alex. Perfection isn't real. Perfection isn't human. And Alex is not perfect. No. Even better, he's imperfect. Everything about him, and us, and all of this it's imperfect. And those imperfections in our reality are the seams and the cracks into which our outsized love can seep and pull. And sometimes we are annoyed and disappointed, and that too is a part of how love works. It's not a perfect system, but oh well. And so I resisted. I fought off the vision of the shrouded figures and the dark planet and all that was perfect, and I held close to imperfection. To my imperfection. To my imperfect Alex. And I took him, and I carried him out of the cube, and we came up, heaving into this world that will disappoint us, finally free. And he said, well, actually, I recorded the whole conversation, of course, because, I'm never without my microphone. He said,
I was thinking about the series of ongoing actions that we perceive as the present, and amassing of memories that we treat as the living record of the past, and the hopes and dreams and assumptions that we project as the future. I was thinking about time, and how it means something to so many people, and about how it's so finite, and also so infinite. I was also thinking about space, and how it is nothing, and then a point which is just a single spot within the nothing, and a line which separates the nothing into two nothings, and about how a plane is a patch of nothing, and an angle is just where two nothings meet. But all those things combine, and with an object of points, lines, planes, and angles, an object with length and width and depth that can take up actual space, until that object becomes something made of nothing within nothing. An object can be a wall, a floor, a roof, a bed, a table, a dog, a door, a rug, a home. And then I thought about how a home is just a group of objects connected by a shared personal experience of our past, our present, and our assumed future. A home is, scientifically speaking from the point of view of mere facts and logic, and, what with science and medicine, and, I just thought it was time for us to make a home together.
And I said, yes, that would be, well, that would be neat. But somewhere else, okay? A duplex or an apartment. I don't think a condo. And he said,
No, not a condo.
and then he said, well, listen. He thinks I shouldn't tell you everything. That I should leave a little something there that belongs just to us. So, the cubes are slowly fading into the earth, taking those who are frozen inside with them. The sheriff's secret police report that those within the cubes are becoming another thing entirely. That they've become the sound that a certain type of sand makes under your feet, the tone of light at a certain time of day. Walking through where the condos once stood, you can hear their voices, but distantly, faintly. And if you reach out when you hear that voice, if you reach out and feel for them, you too will get a vision of some far-off place. A place that is, in its own way, in a way perhaps that can never be explained, perfect. A perfect place that you will never visit. And that is the best news of all. Listeners, I send you now back out into the night. And it's dangerous out there, and it's lonely, and it is not perfect. Stay tuned next for a round of applause followed by a round of silence and departure. Good night, all of you here. Good night, all of you listeners. And good night, Night Vale. Good night. Welcome to Night Vale is a production of Night Vale Presents. It is written by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner and produced by Joseph Fink. The proper voice of Night Vale is Cecil Baldwin. I am none of these people, and I neither can nor will pretend otherwise. In the case of this particular fan read, the voices of Nathan, Hiram McDaniel's blue, purple, and gray heads, along with the general editing, was provided by Nathan Davenport. The voice of Alex was provided by Alexander Romo. The voice of Hiram McDaniel's golden head was provided by Dalton Schwesh or Dalton Schweck, depending on the day of the week you speak to him. The voice of the waifu field frump who lives in your vents and the green dragon head were provided by, well, the waifu field frump who lives in your vents. I am incapable of gathering any more information on him than that, as he is yet to set his Gaia Online page to public. All music in this episode, sans the weather and the ringtone from Nathan's phone, is performed by Kevin MacLeod, and the songs used were, in order of appearance, Graveyard Shift, Crowd Hammer, Music for a Funeral Part 11, Brittle Rill, Sticks and Tricks, Orderly, Pulse, Ave Marimba, Anjo, Reggae Sketch, Lawful Victim Unit, Patience Party, and Crossing the Divide. The song you are currently hearing is Strange Sands. More of Kevin MacLeod's music can be found at incompetech.com and freepd.com. Links can be found in the description. This episode's weather was Amelie's cover of I'm a Believer. For more of her music, check out her YouTube channel at youtube.com/LeanLee. And if you really enjoy it, consider contributing to her Patreon at patreon.com/LeanLee. Both of these links can also be found in the description. The ringtone heard is the tone used for the cell phone of the character Subaru from the anime Re:Zero. The song itself is called Yoake no Michi. Check out welcometonightvale.com for more info on the actual Night Vale production and their new simplified donor program, so that it's easier and more fun to support Night Vale because they like to support you back. Today's proverb: when life seems out of control, take a look at your brakes. They appear to have been cut. Trust no one.